Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 3rd of May 2023 and the market is relatively the same since the last 24 hours. But Uniswap, the numbers have drastically changed, particularly in the last 48 hours. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at what is going on with reference to Uniswap and very briefly touch base, particularly so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned for the top 3 DeFi protocols. Now guys, listen, a massive event that is going to take place is when Jerome Powell, the chair of Federal Reserve, will be announcing the interest rate hike, and this, guys, is going to have a massive impact not just on the finance world but also on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And a few days ago, guys, in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did talk about that because of this news, few market manipulators were trying to dump the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of an interest rate hike will Jerome Powell be announcing. Now, it is possible that he just might announce the 25 basis points, or in extreme cases, and the right move would be to announce an increased rate hike of 75 basis points. Extremely unlikely for that thing to happen. So we'll very briefly touch base on that. Now guys, one of the massive news that is going on is regarding Coinbase, and looks like they are facing a class action lawsuit. And this is more to do with KYC and AML, and we'll definitely go ahead and discuss that. And we'll go ahead and look at what is going on, particularly in the world of Coinbase. And guys, listen, artificial intelligence has definitely taken the world by storm, with applications such as ChatGPT, GPT-4 and AutoGPT as well. Now, one of the biggest dangers of artificial intelligence has been highlighted by none other than the head of Google. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what that news is all about. And this news, guys, is circulating across all mainstream media, and we'll go ahead and discuss why he actually left Google. And to be honest, guys, this is absolutely scary. And a few days ago on my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did talk about Elon Musk, who also echoed a similar theme, and he did actually have an interview with Tucker Carlson, and he did say that artificial intelligence does have the potential to end human civilization as well. So the dangers of artificial intelligence is here, and it's right now. So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news. Now regarding NFTs, we have a really massive news, and Sotheby's, they are launching an NFT marketplace, and this is more to do with secondary market. So quite a lot to cover in today's episode. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm going to be discussing 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And both the news, guys, are absolutely fantastic. And the first news is regarding BitOasis. And they have received the first broker-dealer minimum viable product operational license from Dubai's WARA, that is Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. So we'll definitely go ahead and look at that. And guys, another massive news is Finoverse. They have teamed up with MassX to start collaboration between Dubai and Hong Kong ecosystem. And they have a tour right now, and they have an event taking place on the 7th of May 2023. Now look guys, if you're someone who's working in the Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrency or Web 3.0 space, you definitely need to check it out, because the event is taking place at the iconic building at the Museum of the Future, and the registration can be found in the show notes below. So the 7th of May, a massive event taking place, and they're essentially bridging the Web 3 ecosystem of MENA region and APAC. So we'll definitely go and explore that in today's episode. So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. So let's get started with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee Date. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee Date and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee a Day aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Shalhoub Group, a luxury retail and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now instead of E, they've replaced it with Web3 and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below, you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.dreamin.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since we've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now as of today, it is at $1.18 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it has gone up by 2.26%. Now listen guys, after Jerome Powell announces the interest rate hike, I wouldn't be surprised if Jerome Powell announces, let's say, 25 basis points, the global cryptocurrency market might see an uptick. But what would happen, let's say, if he announces 75 basis points? There's a very high possibility that the global cryptocurrency market might go below the $1 trillion mark. Now, the total crypto market volume over the last 24 hours is ridiculously low at $34.52 billion. And since the last 24 hours, though, it has gone down by 12.58%. And guys, the volume on DeFi is once again extremely scary, and it is down to $2.84 billion. And guys, the total value locked is once again below the $50 billion mark. And as of today, it is at $42.26 billion, with Lido clearly dominating at 24.57%. And so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is at $11.86 billion. Now guys, in the past, in my Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast, what I used to do is I used to look at the top 5 protocols, keeping in mind the total value locked. Now since this week, what I've decided to do is look at the 24-hour volume, because it's critical to look at what is going on with each protocol and how many people are using it. And Uniswap is definitely an outlier. And so far as the 24-hour trading volume is concerned, it stands at a staggering at $1.34 billion. And guys, on Sunday, Uniswap's volume was less than 1/3 of what it is. So it looks like people are definitely using Uniswap. PancakeSwap is number 2nd, and $461.7 million is its 24-hour trading volume. Now you need to understand that PancakeSwap is currently operating only in Binance, whereas the other DeFi protocols are currently working, let's say, in Ethereum, they're working in EOS, they're working in Binance BNB, and multiple different blockchains. Curve Finance is number 3rd at $147.15 million, followed by Dodo, which I did cover in my podcast on Monday, at $85.56 million, and finally Level Finance at $49.07 million. Now if you look at the volume on DeFi, it is ridiculously low, and the good thing is it accounts for a lower percentage of the total crypto market volume at 6.99%. The volume of stable coins, guys, is once again absolutely scary. Not only is it less, but it accounts for 91.54% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And so far as the 24-hour trading volume is concerned, it is at $37.43 billion. Now guys, what I'm going to be doing next is, I'm going to be looking at the market cap of stable coins, and then I'm going to be comparing it with the 24-hour trading volume. And this, guys, is absolutely worrisome, particularly in the world of Bitfinex's Tether. And Tether USDT's market cap is on an increase. I don't understand why it has been increasing. As of today, it is at $81.85 billion, but the 24-hour trading volume is only at $24.99 billion. I really don't get the reasoning as to why the market cap of Tether USDT has been increasing. If you look at Circle USDC, its market cap has been going down, as it should be, and it is currently at $30.24 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume is, to be honest, less than 1/10 of its market cap at $2.92 billion. And guys, Binance BHD market cap is at $6.08 billion. I wouldn't be surprised if Jerome Powell announces the interest rate hike, and if the interest rate hike is, let's say, 50 basis points or 75 basis points, the market cap of Binance BUSD might just go below the $6 billion mark. But surprisingly, if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, it is kind of 1/3 of its market cap, and it is at $2.46 billion. Really strange numbers. Now guys, let's look at the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap is little over $500 billion, and it is currently at $555 billion, whereas Ethereum is at $225 billion. So far as the 24-hour trading volume is concerned, guys, Bitcoin is $16.5 billion and Ethereum is $7.5 billion. The dominance of Bitcoin has surprisingly gone marginally up at 46.94%, and Ethereum stands at 19.02%. Now guys, in today's episode, what I'm going to be discussing is the decentralized apps, and I'm going to be looking at in terms of the volume Now the number first is Alien Worlds. Now really I'm not sure what Alien Worlds is, but if you go to its profile it does say that it is an innovative metaverse where everything is tokenized. And once again guys, Alien World looks like it's only working on Binance BNB. So it looks like so far as decentralized apps is concerned, Binance BNB is definitely overtaking Ethereum because the number second is called as Hook, which is more on a Web3 protocol, and it is a decentralized app that is working only on Binance BNB chain. And Hook protocol guys is the on-ramp layer for massive Web3 adoptions to form ecosystem of future community-owned economies. And as per the biography, it says that Hook, with versatile and edge-cutting alphabetically, they aim to empower everyone with no prior experience to access, earn and own a share of crypto to enable and fasten application streamlined Web3 transformation, bringing forth the pioneering and thriving networks. Now to be honest guys, I don't use Hook, but after this podcast, I'm definitely going to have a look at it because so far as the volume is concerned and so far as the interaction with decentralized app smart contract is concerned, it has consistently been in the top 3, and with the hype surrounding Web 3.0, it is an area definitely worth looking into. Now the third one guys is Uniswap version 3, and this is an exchange and it is the third most used decentralized app. And as you know guys, Uniswap version 3 is a protocol for trading and automated liquidity provisions on Ethereum, and the new version introduces quite a lot of new things such as concentrated liquidity, multiple fee tiers, and the liquidity providers guys can provide liquidity for up to 4,000 capital efficiency in comparison to let's say its previous version of Uniswap 2, and you can earn higher returns on the capital. And guys, the liquidity providers can significantly increase the exposure to preferred assets and reduce the downside risks, and liquidity providers in Uniswap version 3 can sell one asset for another by adding liquidity to a price range entirely above or below the market price, approximately a fee earning limit order that executes a smooth curve. So if you're someone who's using Uniswap, definitely go ahead and mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, and the price of Bitcoin is $28,638, and since the last 24 hours, it has gone up by 2.69%. Since the last 7 days, it has gone up by 1.64%. Look guys, when Jerome Powell goes live, keep an eye on the price of Bitcoin. Now historically what happens is 3 to 4 hours before Jerome Powell goes live, the prices tend to fluctuate marginally. Now when Jerome Powell is live, based on my experience, I've looked at the prices tend to remain the same, but 3 to 4 hours after Jerome Powell goes live, when mainstream media picks up the news, they put on their own narrative. After 3 to 4 hours is when I tend to see the increase in price or decrease in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So keep an eye on what Jerome Powell says during the live session. And guys, Ethereum is at $1,870. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 2.76%. Since the last 7 days, it is up by 0.21%. Surprisingly, guys, Binance BNB coin is relatively gone down since the last 24 hours by 1.46%, and it is currently at $323. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.16%. Now look guys, a massive event that is going to take place, which I do believe will set the price for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, possibly for the end of this month, is the FOMC meeting, and Federal Reserve Board Chair Jerome Powell will be announcing the interest rate hike. And what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, he often goes live on YouTube, so make sure that you listen to him. So how it works is, he goes ahead and gives reasoning as to why he has either increased the interest rate hike, decreased the interest rate hike, or probably does nothing on the interest rate hike. And after that, there is often question and answer session by mainstream media, and in that session, guys, they tend to ask him quite a lot of questions. And some of the extreme left-wing media, they even ask questions regarding racism, which has absolutely nothing to do with finance, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to clickbait, cherry-pick what he says, edit the information, and put out a clickbaiting article. But nonetheless, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is make sure that you go and listen to him, and he would give out reasoning. He would also give out potential indication if the US is heading towards recession. And look, guys, I have said this in my Crypto and Coffee at 8 podcast several times in the past. In one of the sessions, he was asked 8 times if the US is heading towards recession. And all the 8 times, Jerome Powell did actually state that so far as the demand and supply for the labor market is concerned, US is absolutely fantastic. And guys, you yourself can validate this information by looking at the Bureau of Labor Statistics. But again, Jerome Powell did actually state that we are definitely not heading towards recession. And it's no surprise the mainstream media did actually go out and publish that the US is heading towards recession. And this is the reason, guys, I often say is whenever you're looking at information, particularly in the world of cryptocurrencies and blockchain or even politics, it's so critical that you look at information from first source. Having a lot of information in today's world is not at all ideal, but getting the information from first source without cherry-picked information gives you a lot of useful information, and it's time to take the red pill. Now, how will this news impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Now, Blockworks, they have provided an article that states that crypto dips, equities trade sideways ahead of the Fed raise decision, and the analysts largely agree that the central bank or the Fed will opt for a 25 basis point increase, and the market is betting on this being the last. Now, I do agree, guys, that Jerome Powell might just increase the interest rate hike by 25 basis points. And you need to keep in mind there are quite a lot of other things which are in an absolutely chaos situation, particularly the banking industry, the US debt ceiling. Now, keeping all these things in mind, the last thing Jerome Powell would want to do is increase the interest rate hike by, let's say, 50 basis points or 75 basis points. And Forbes, they provided an article that mentioned that the FOMC meeting will likely deliver its third consecutive quarter of a percentage point rate increase, that is 25 basis points, and they also recommending that this might just be the Fed's final rate hike. Now, if you look at it at a macro level, without going into details, it might look like that the inflation numbers are getting better, which in hindsight might be true, but what is going on in the background is the US banking industry is in an absolute turmoil. And just yesterday, guys, I talked about First Republic Bank, which has gone completely belly up, was purchased by the US regulators and then sold to JP Morgan Chase. Now, keeping all these things in mind, the inflation is definitely not looking ideal. We also have the massive US debt ceiling, and looks like Kevin McCarthy, the rhino, has definitely agreed to increase the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, not just for the US, but also in the world of finance for the rest of the world throughout the later part of this year. Now, what are your predictions, guys? What interest rate hike will Jerome Powell announce? Will he announce 25 basis points? I kind of think so. Or will he announce a 50 basis points? Or in the extreme sense, will he announce 75 basis points? Mention them in the comments below. Now, guys, let's discuss some drama regarding Coinbase. And looks like Coinbase is facing lawsuit over alleged privacy violation in Biometric's collection. So the proposed action lawsuit alleges that Coinbase violated privacy laws in Illinois when it collected and stored users' fingerprints and facial scan. And guys, if you go to the official filings, unfortunately, it looks like the case is simple, black and white, and not looking good for Coinbase. And Cointelegraph does actually have a great summary, which actually states that what happened is that a Coinbase user claimed the exchange's requirement that a customer uploads a picture of a valid ID and the self-portrait in order for the firm to conduct KYC checks is violating certain provisions of Illinois' Biometric Information Privacy Act, or called as BIPA. This rule might be changing as per state, and I really am not sure what the rules and regulations for the state of Illinois is, but if you go and read through the official filings, looks like Coinbase is at fault, and the lawsuit also argues that BIPA, also called as Biometric Information Privacy Act, in Illinois required Coinbase to gain permission from users when collecting the biometrics, and Coinbase needed to provide the purpose for collecting such data and how long it will be stored and how it will be used and how Coinbase would permanently destroy it, and looks like Coinbase did not do it. So it is possible that Coinbase will try to settle it out of court. Unfortunate news for Coinbase, but they are a multi-billion-dollar organization, and I'm pretty much sure this thing gets settled out of court. Now, guys, let's discuss a scary news, and this is to do with the dangers of artificial intelligence. And Dr. Jeffrey Hinton, the godfather of artificial intelligence, has actually resigned from Google, and he has warned of the dangers of artificial intelligence. Now, he does have an interview with the New York Times. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is read through the entire article, because he does give a lot of information regarding artificial intelligence. And guys, you need to understand, for half a century, Dr. Jeffrey Hinton nurtured the technology at the heart of chatbots, and things like ChatGPT were built around his work. And right now, guys, we also have GPT-4, and lately there is a massive hype about AutoGPT. And guys, to be honest, it is absolutely brilliant, and at the same time it is scary. Now, what is really interesting, guys, is that Dr. Jeffrey Hinton did actually mention via Twitter, and he did accuse New York Times of fake news, because what he did say is that New York Times is saying that he left Google because he was not happy with Google, and he clearly mentioned that he left Google So you could talk about the dangers of artificial intelligence without considering how it impacts Google, and he actually did say that Google is doing the right thing. And this, guys, goes to the point that I earlier mentioned. Mainstream media, most often, I would say 90% of the time, they cherry pick the information, they edit the information, and they give out their own narrative, which, to be honest, is completely different than what was initially intended. Again, Dr. Jeffrey Hinton wanted to talk about artificial intelligence, but the news sounded like he wanted to bash Google, and that's the reason why he resigned. Absolutely not true. Now, what are your thoughts, guys? Now, listen, I use ChatGPT pretty much daily, and to be honest, it is scary, but once you look at the features of AutoGPT, I do feel that the future of artificial intelligence is great, but at the same time, it is extremely scary. Could it be possible that the Terminator movie does turn out to be a reality? Never say never. Now, guys, let's discuss some news in the world of NFTs. And Sotheby's has launched an on-chain NFT marketplace for secondary art sales, and Decrypt has provided an article that states that the famed auction house Sotheby's now supports secondary NFT sales, letting collectors list and make offers on work from selected artists, and they've launched a portal on the Sotheby's Metaverse platform where secondary NFT artwork sales are conducted peer-to-peer and fully on-chain, and guys, it now features support for NFT artwork minted on Ethereum and scaling network Polygon. So definitely check it out. And guys, it is so critical to understand that the secondary sales on Sotheby's Metaverse are facilitated entirely through automated smart contracts, and guys, the auction house said it allows collectors to pay for art and collectibles in Ethereum, which is the native token of Polygon, using their own self-hosted digital wallet. And guys, looks like the promise of NFTs are definitely here to stay. And one trend, guys, that I've been observing is that so far as NFT is concerned, the trend tends to die down, but it often keeps picking up. Now, guys, let's discuss two news from Dubai, UAE in the Middle East. And to be honest, guys, both the news are absolutely fantastic. And the first news is about BitOasis, and they have received the first broker-dealer minimum viable product operational license from Dubai's WARA, or Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. And guys, BitOasis, the website is bitoasis.net, and BitOasis, guys, is a Middle East-focused cryptocurrency exchange and has obtained the first broker-dealer minimum viable product. And guys, as we know, WARA, which is the Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, is the crypto regulator in Dubai, and they were established in March 2022 to oversee the virtual asset sector in the Emirate. And I very specifically remember, guys, that Binance did play a very crucial role in helping them set up the operation. Now, unfortunately, in this news, there is no mention about Binance, and lately I'm not seeing any news regarding Binance and WARA together. Now, the United Arab Emirates aims to become a global hub for the crypto industry, and BitOasis received provisional approval to start the crypto licensing process in last year in March of 2022. And guys, BitOasis is the first broker-dealer to complete the MVP stage, and no firm has yet been licensed under the full market product, also called as FMP stage, according to WARA's website. And BitOasis can now offer broker-dealer services to qualified retail and institutional investors, and the company is headquartered in Dubai and operates under WARA's regulatory regime. And guys, the WARA ecosystem aims to balance value creation, risk mitigation, and enhance investment opportunities while prioritizing consumer protection. And guys, the license allows BitOasis to operate as a regulated entity in the crypto industry, and the MVP stage is a significant milestone in the licensing process. And guys, WARA's regulatory framework ensures compliance and oversight in the virtual asset sector. And guys, as we know, Dubai is positioning itself as a prominent player in the global crypto market, and this license enables BitOasis to provide services to both retail and institutional investors. And WARA CEO, that is Henson, also emphasizes the importance of consumer protection with the regulatory ecosystem. And BitOasis, guys, can now facilitate cryptocurrency trading and investment activities as a broker-dealer. And guys, as we know, Dubai's crypto industry is expected to grow as more firms obtain licenses and operate under WARA's regulation. And BitOasis is well positioned to cater to the growing demand for crypto services in the Middle East. So absolutely brilliant stuff. And guys, listen, I am a brand ambassador for BitOasis, and if you do need any help or assistance, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Or if you do have any questions, just mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's discuss another massive news, and this news has to do with Finverse, and they have teamed up with MaskX to start collaboration between Dubai and Hong Kong crypto ecosystem. So let me try to give us some pieces of information. Now, so far as Musk X is concerned, it was founded in 2021, and they are the owner of MSB Financial License in Canada and offers a licensed trading platform. And the website, guys, is muskx.com. And so far as Finoverse is concerned, guys, the website is finoverse.com, and they have a brilliant podcast series as well called as Waves in the Finoverse, so please feel free to check it out. And guys, the news is that the leading cryptocurrency exchange called MaskX announces a collaboration with Finoverse, the largest community of fintech and Web3 enthusiasts in Hong Kong and China's Greater Bay Area, and the partnership aims to facilitate a connection between the cryptocurrency ecosystem in Dubai and Hong Kong. And guys, the collaboration includes co-hosting the opening reception of Finoverse Arabia Discovery Tour, which kickstarts on 7th of May 2023 at the iconic building of the Museum of the Future in Dubai's financial district. And the tour comprises of 20 attendees, including venture capitalists, family offices, and regulators who will be visiting the UAE. And MaskX Vice President and CSO Ben Caslin said, Token Bay Capital's founder and managing partner Lucy Gazarmin and the Women's Foundation Chair Angela Kwan will deliver speeches at the opening ceremony. And guys, Ben Caslin expresses excitement about the collaboration's potential impact on the global Web3 community and highlights the role of Hong Kong and Dubai in driving innovation in the digital asset and blockchain sector. And guys, the event will also feature debates between key figures from MaskX and Finoverse, and Anthony Sarr, who's the CEO and co-founder of Finoverse, emphasizes the importance of collaboration between leading Web3 teams in Asia and Middle East, citing support from regulators in Dubai and Hong Kong and prominent leaders such as Sheikh Hamad Rakat Salid Hamad Al Lameri, a member of the royal family in Abu Dhabi, and a stakeholder in Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, also called as ADIA, will attend the program's event. And guys, ADIA is a major shareholder in MaskX and holds 50% stake in the exchange. And this event, guys, is on the 7th of May, and the event is completely free, of course. So you need to fill up a form in order to get yourself registered. I have definitely registered for it, and if the application does get approved, I'll most likely be attending that event. So those were the news, guys, from Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email at info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Liz who asks, in case Jerome Powell announces the interest rate hike by 75 basis points, what impact will it have on crypto? Now it is extremely unlikely, Liz, that Jerome Powell will be announcing the interest rate hike of 75 basis points. Now to be honest, strictly speaking, that would be the right thing to do, but unfortunately, Jerome Powell may not do that, and the reason being, in the last few months we have seen massive banking collapse, and Jerome Powell announcing 75 basis points increase will be absolutely tragic, but at the same time, it will be the right thing to do. Now, if he does do that, it's going to be a massive blow to the finance world, and particularly in the world of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I wouldn't be surprised, Liz, if that thing happens, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies would actually go down miserably. Now, but I do think that increasing it to 75 basis points will be a right thing, because you need to understand the US economy is right now like a collapsing building, and the only way to do that is to take it off the ground, and 75 basis points is kind of like that move. Unfortunately, I don't think so that will happen, and they will be increasing it only to 25 basis points, but I could be wrong. And also, Liz, you also need to keep into consideration the geopolitical chaos that US is involved in, with Russia and Ukraine, the internal conflict, the US debt ceiling, which is a massive deal, and the recent banking collapse. And keeping all these things in mind, Liz, I really doubt it if Jerome Powell will actually increase it to 75 basis points. But to answer your question, if that thing happens, it's going to be absolutely tragic for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And one thing which I did mention earlier as well, I wouldn't be surprised if that thing happens The price of Bitcoin might just go below the $20,000 mark, but I don't think so that will actually happen. So those are my thoughts if Jerome Powell does actually increase it to 75 basis points. Now what I'd really recommend listeners again to do is make sure that you watch him live. He usually goes live via YouTube and the session usually lasts for 40 minutes or so. Listen to him live and then compare it with what fake news is actually saying. You would be surprised the information is completely different. And few months later, I very specifically remember when Jerome Powell actually started the session, there were few left-leaning media that actually published an article already, and I was wondering, how is it that they already published the article even before Jerome Powell completing his speech? That was a bit scary as well. But to answer your question, Liz, if he does announce an interest rate hike of 75 basis points, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will definitely collapse. But once again, it's not financial advice. So those were my thoughts, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series. And if you guys do have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, I'm actively looking for sponsors. So if you do want to sponsor any of these episodes, and I do have events that I conduct via Eventbrite, if you do want to sponsor them, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. So what I can do is, in the episodes, I can mention your product details, and 16 to 20,000 of my listeners will get accustomed to what your products are. And if you do want to get more information, just drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.